So as we start now, Jamaica, let me introduce to you MP candidate for North East St. Andrew, attorney at law, the daughter of the sheriff, King's Counsel, Katie Knight. Tonight I introduce to you, Jamaica, Miss Stacey Knight. Good night, Miss Knight.
Good night, Andre.
My apologies for the delay in the broadcast tonight.
That's all right. I was enjoying your program. And good night to all your listeners and your audience.
Yes, Stacey
watching
Knight.
on YouTube and listening on the various platforms. Good night, everyone. Hello. My pleasure to be here.
Who is Stacey Knight?
Who is Stacey Knight? I am Stacey Knight. I am, where should I start? I'm a mother of two, a daughter of the best. And when I say the best, I'm referring to both my parents, both of whom have served this country faithfully. I'm a child of God. I am an attorney at law. I am an educator, having taught for over a decade. I am a believer in the good that can come when people really put their hearts and minds to recognizing that change can happen. We don't have to throw up our hands. I'm not a throw up your hands person at all. Like, there's a problem, let's see how we can fix it. That's who I am. That's who Stacey Knight is. Let's roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty and fix the problem. And what I'm seeing right now is that my country has a lot of problems that need to be solved. And so I have rolled up my sleeves and I have stepped right in to be a part of the change process that will transform Jamaica and make it a place where my children and everybody else's children will want to live. Because we're finding that a lot of our young people are looking elsewhere. And so I want to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, and do business, as our Vision 2030 goals said.
But that Vision 2030 has now been stalled by this government.
It has been stalled, and so we need to get it back on track. We won't be able to make it in 2030, but we can move the goalposts a little bit. And once the People's National Party administration takes over the reins, I know we will be heading in the right direction.
Stacey Knight, many would argue, how can you take out a Delroy Chuck out of the parliament?
Yeah. Well, you know, Delroy Chuck has been in the parliament for 28 years. That's a long time. And I have lived in the constituency that he represents for all of those 28 years. Yeah. In fact, I was in a meeting with him recently and he wasn't able to say what his legacy is. What has he done in these 28 years that he can say is his legacy? There's nothing. There is nothing of importance, of, nothing major that he has done. Fixing a pothole here and there definitely can't count.
So your constituency is made up of the Barbican division.
Yes. And the Waterloo division. So there are two divisions in this constituency. And a lot of people think that the constituency is just Barbican and perhaps Waterloo Road and Grand Spain, but it spans a much wider area than that. It actually starts up in the north. The northernmost section of the constituency is Peters Rock, Woodford, which is actually a rural community bordering on East Rural Constituency. That's a part of Northeast St. Andrew. And coming down Jacks Hill into Cherry Gardens, Graham Heights, Russell Heights, you have the high upper income areas.
Oh, that is Tavistock and all of those places.
Tavistock and all of those. Yes, all of that is part of the constituency. And then it comes down through Barbican. Barbican is the heart of the constituency.
Yes.
And Grantspen. They're at the center of it. And the dividing line between the two divisions, Barbican and Waterloo, is Barbican Road.
Wow.
And then south of Barbican Road is the Waterloo division, which includes areas like East King's House, Paddington, Surbiton, Ellismere, Southermere, and it goes all the way down to the clock, to the halfway tree clock, which is a part of this constituency. So I like to characterize it as from the Peters Rock to the halfway tree clock. That's Northeast St. Andrew.
So that is why you had a big thing at the Sagicor Sigma Run.
Yes.
Oh.
So the Sagicor Sigma Run, a large part of that race ran through our constituency. It started in Southeast, but a large portion of the route is through Northeast St. Andrew.
So so strategically, your marketing team decided, let us now show Jamaica the new face for Northeast St. Andrew.
And the people have been embracing me. Everywhere I'm going now, people are recognizing me and welcoming me as the new MP.
Oh, they're welcoming you as the new MP and not the MP candidate.
I met somebody in the market the other day and he said, oh, you are the new MP lady.
Oh, so you already started the damage that your father taught you to do.
Yes, I have learned from him for sure. Couldn't grow up with him and not learn. Yeah. So we know how to win.
You know how to win, but are you as deadly as a Katie Knight?
You know, Andre, I don't like to be compared to anyone really. Yes, and Desiderata speaks against comparing ourselves to others because each person really has their own qualities, talents, and the own thing that they bring to the world. If I'm bringing to the world just what my father brought, then I'm not really necessary. So I bring my own style and flair. But there's no question about it that I'm bringing
your
something.
Own style and flair come with a Katie Knight gene, and that gene is not a normal gene, you know. That gene is one that make labor rights at inquiries stutter.
And tremble.
And tremble.
Yes.
So is it a case that Delroy, I hear already that him starting to do a lot of walks?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He has been in follow back of me. So wherever I go, I hear that he's there the next week. Which, go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised him following, you know, because you're the beauty that exudes from your aura is one that your innocence, there's something about your presence. There is your unassuming, innocent personality. People are saying that they're drawn to that.
Oh. And I want people to be drawn to more than just that. Because that's really just the surface. I want people to be drawn to the change that I bring. I want people to be drawn to speaking to me about their issues and knowing that we can work together to create solutions to those issues. That's what I want people to be drawn to.
You spoke that you're an educator.
Yes.
What kind of plans you have for Northeast St. Andrew in terms of education?
Yeah. All right. Northeast St. Andrew, like the rest of Jamaica, has underperforming schools. Yeah. We also have the same educational apartheid system that plagues the rest of Jamaica, where at age 11 plus, I think nowadays it's 12. They take the PEP.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Children are required to do an exam that determines their destiny pretty much. Because at the end of that exam, they are placed in a school that is either going to be a well-resourced school or a school that's not well-resourced. And that somewhat determines the destiny of our children. And my plans for education is that every school is a high-performing school. That there should be no school that a parent does not want their child to go to.
So you want to balance the playing field.
We need to balance the playing field. We really have to make sure that every child can learn, every child must learn, is real, that it actually can be implemented in the schools that we have. Our teachers need to be better paid. The schools need to be better funded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some transformative plans that the spokesperson on education has outlined.
Mm-hmm.
And I buy into those plans.
About feeding the children each day?
Feeding the children each day. About longer school days. Yeah.
Learning times.
Yeah.
Additional extracurricular activities.
Yes. And better supervision, because we don't want our children just running out of the school gates and then that afternoon time before their children get home. A lot of mischief happens during that time.
So apart from the educational prowess that you're talking about for Northeast St. Andrew, what else are your big ticket agenda items?
You know, one of the big things for Northeast St. Andrew is sustainable development. There's a lot of private development taking place.
Oh, you're one of them that have many developers in your area. They have high-rise buildings.
We do, exactly. And while I am in support of development that provides housing, increased housing, better housing, it needs to be sustainable. And what I mean by sustainable is not just the long term, but even at the start of the development, it needs to be that the conflict that is being created now, because of the haphazard nature of the development, we need to do something about that. There needs to be some sort of consensus that in terms of neighborhoods, so that citizens of a neighborhood can agree, just as that's what restrictive covenants meant on a title, that persons in this neighborhood have a covenant with one another of the type of homes or the type of buildings that they're going to place on those lots. And we need to go back to honoring those restrictive covenants in a different sort of way. People can modify them now, and the law provides for the modification of them. But we have to take a look again, because those legislations are kind of outdated. We need to amend them and have a holistic system, legislative system.
So the covenants that exist presently can be manipulated.
They can be manipulated. And I don't know if I would use the word manipulated necessarily, but sometimes when the covenants are lifted, the other covenantor isn't happy about it. Yeah. And we need to do better at zoning, so that if there's going to be a neighborhood where there's high rises, then everybody knows that if you move in here, it's high rises. Your bungalow home is likely to be shortly converted into a high rise, or that next door to you there's going to be a high rise, or behind you, because this neighborhood has been zoned for that. It ought not to be that every single neighborhood have 1 or 2 or 3 high rises that creating this imbalance.
Yes.
We need to have zones, and we need to respect the development orders. And so that the zones are maintained in a way that actually supports a healthy family life. People want to live in certain neighborhoods if they have children, young adults, have different needs.
Concerned about the inconsistencies, too many commercialized properties, is that we're getting at, and you'd want it to be, as you said, moderated at a level so that persons particularly returning or those who want to be in their comfort of their homes don't
Yes.
feel as though they're being
Right. They're being
violated.
crowded out. Exactly. Exactly. Because everybody, every Jamaican deserves to live in Jamaica,
And
deserves to have some space in Jamaica that they can call their home and that they can be comfortable in their home. And so we all need to make sure that there are ways we can cooperate to create that. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all.
On your walks, have you been having meetings with the developers?
I have met with developers individually, but I have not had like a meeting with a group of developers as yet. It's in the works. It's in the works.
Also, there's the potential of having a sit down or a town hall or that group discussion with the developers.
Yeah,
so
man.
that
it's more than potential. There's a plan. There's actually a plan to have that.
But that plan comes with your expertise in corporate law.
Well, I'm not so much an expert in corporate law, but in law generally, and in conveyancing law, which includes modification of restrictive covenants.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you have that background. But I see where you're doing free legal work already in your constituency, that the people can come and sit and talk with you.
Yes.
And from there, you assist them where you can to sort out their different issues. How is that going?
It went well. Well, what we had in particular was one specific legal aid fair. It went very well. Many citizens expressed how happy they were for the opportunity to come and sit with us. We're going to have another one, and the next one will be at a different time, because the time of day, that one was during the day on a Friday. A lot of people said they couldn't come because they had work. So we're going to have another one at another time that's more convenient. But the host of citizens who need legal advice, and I'm not just talking poor people. A lot of people just need, and sometimes some quick, you can quickly solve their problems for them. People who have issues with succession, aging parents and what to do, how you transfer the home before the person dies, or should you wait until after they die? And the situations will dictate which is best. But apart from the legal aid fair, I am always giving advice to persons who I meet, So many individual constituents who have legal problems or just legal questions, I'm available to them. Yeah, man, I make myself available to them.
So you spoke about education, you spoke about the conveyance and the zoning as possible.
Yes.
What are the economic realities? Because even though you have a lot of persons who are on the higher side of the strata, you also have some very vulnerable poor constituency.
We do.
How you?
Yeah.
What are the cries of those people?
The cries of those people. Better health care is one, because those people have to go to a crowded clinic, because there's only one clinic in the constituency. As large as the constituency is, there's only one clinic. Yes. And it's the Edna Manley Clinic in Grand Spain, right next to the police station. So we need more. We need more healthcare facilities. And what I've seen, because there isn't a lot of available land for that, my plan is to have mobile clinics that move from community to community, that people know when the clinic will be in their area. And those clinics can either utilize existing buildings like churches or schools. Schools if it's on the weekend, churches if it's during the week. Or the mobile clinic can be like a caravan that actually, moves around. both. So we'd use both formats so that we can bring the healthcare to the people when the people can't go to the healthcare. And when I say that, I'm talking about senior citizens who can't get out of their bed to go, who can't afford the taxi fare to go all the way to the clinic. Yeah, these people need the healthcare to come to them.
So you're talking about a scheduled mobile clinic system so that it can really come to the people. So that means that you're talking about you and the prospective Minister of Health forming and getting things up and running to do some mobile clinics in
Northeast. Yes.
So if you're doing mobile clinics, what else you plan to do?
Crime is a problem right across Jamaica, of course, and certainly in Northeast St. Andrew as well.
Wasn't it in your constituency that Polly boy?
Yes.
The developer was accosted by alleged police or some makeshift police.
Yes.
So what? That was the
attacked.
Polly boy was
attacked. Yes. Yes.
Have you followed up with it?
I have. Yeah, man. I've kept in touch with him. I went to visit him because he is, well, every constituent deserves better, really and truly.
True.
The attack on him was horrendous. It was horrendous. And it happened in daylight hours. It happened in daylight hours in the affluent area of Graham Heights. But that problem that's not a normal crime problem we're talking about there. Yeah. The source of that is not something for me to speak about on this program. But
I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to that. I understand.
There's a lot more to that. And I'm letting the investigators do their investigation. And we hope that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. But talking about crime, in the inner city areas, there is also.
But what other additional crimes happen within your country?
Yeah, man, we've had a few murders in the constituency in the past 6 months to a year. Yeah, some that seem like hired kill. Yeah, hired killers. Yeah.
Targets.
There was one on Barbican Road. A lady, we call her Muma. Mommy was killed a week after she and I were talking about the fact that her son had been killed. And then they came for her. There's a lot of that. Reprisal killings and yeah, the cycle goes on. There was also a murder that took place on Shortwood Road. An affluent businessman, I forget his name now. That too seemed like a hit job. Yeah.
So you're concerned about the level of criminal activities in the constituency?
Yes, and I blame some of that on this fact that so many of our young people
are unattached.
And I call them now malattached because they don't remain unattached. They're not in school and they're not working, but then they become attached to criminality. They become attached to gangs. Yeah. And that's the source of the hired hitmen. Yeah. They're available because they don't have anything else to do. And so we really need to increase our citizen engagement, the training of our youth, and to create employment opportunities, create business opportunities, create an environment where young people can start their own businesses, where a young person whose parents don't have it like that can access funding, borrow money to start their business, because our
True.
young people are so creative. Some of them have some brilliant ideas, but if them parents not have it like that, where them forget the money to start their ideas? We need to have business incubators. We need to have more mentorship. Yeah, we need to really look out for each other, because success for me doesn't mean there can't also be success for somebody else. Success is not a competition. Yeah, everybody can succeed. And that's the kind of constituency I want to create and will create when I'm elected. One where every citizen can find their opportunity to climb that ladder of success.